I love animated movies. And I'm not talking about your basic forgettable projects that don't cross your mind ever again after watching them once. No. I'm talking about the ones that leave such a hard imprint on your childhood. Your second nature is to quote said animation every chance you get. And if you pressed on this video, I'm guessing it's because I am talking about How to Train Your Dragon is a series that shaped my childhood, and I have so many good things to say about it. It's stunning, adventurous, emotional, inspiring, and epic. But it is so much more than just about dragons. It's about the underlying importance of family. It paints the perfect picture of growing up. It teaches the true meaning of friendship, and most of all, to be yourself. Every great children's story entertains and teaches important life lessons to kids and adults alike. At least in my own opinion, those are the most memorable and separate the mediocre from the legendary. That's why the Kung Fu Panda trilogy is praised to this day. Everybody and their mama be quoting Master Oogway.
Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present.
In this video, I want to appreciate the authenticity of these movies and share with you the 3 lessons I've learned from the How to Train Your Dragon series that might benefit you as well. So, with all that said, behind every great story, you have a larger-than-life main character. Hiccup Horrendous Haddock III is the main protagonist of the How to Train Your Dragon franchise and one of my favorite characters when I was growing up. If you are or aren't familiar with him, here's a quick refresher for you. Hiccup's full name actually has multiple meanings. The word Hiccup is a nickname in their Viking culture that they give to the runt of the litter because it's usually the smallest and weakest of the bunch. Horrendous just means terrible or awful, and haddock is actually a possible play on words with the haddock fish, which in Scotland represents luck and is believed to be the fish that fed many people. This meaning could possibly symbolize Hiccup's destiny of eventually taking care of his people, and I thought this was pretty interesting to mention. He's the son of Stoic the Vast, the chief of Berk, a Viking village that sees strength and dragon slaying as the highest virtues. However, Hiccup is nothing like the traditional Viking hero. He's physically smaller, clumsy with weapons, and more interested in creativity and problem solving than brute strength. He is a character who symbolizes growth, individuality, and the power of understanding. Hiccup's true strength lies in his unique perspective. Unlike the other Vikings, he questions their long-held beliefs about dragons, which leads to his life-changing friendship with Toothless. This bond reveals Hiccup's defining traits: empathy, intelligence, and willingness to challenge the status quo.
I'm not one of them.
If I was to describe Hiccup in just one word, it would have to be relatable. His character embodies common experiences like feeling like an outsider, struggling to meet expectations, overcoming personal fears, and finding strength in unexpected places, which shows his character taps into a wide variety of groups and people. So this leads us to the reoccurring hurdle that our main character keeps banging his head against throughout these movies, which is the question, who am I? Forgive me for getting a little deep here. Being very simple on the surface to answer, this is the timeless question of human existence. Anyone at any age, at any time can ask themselves. It reflects a deeply personal and universal quest to understand oneself. A question that invites exploration on multiple levels: personal, philosophical, psychological, and yes, spiritual. And not only all of this, it is a question that may never be answered or final. And that's the beauty of it. It's a question that evolves as you do. And the point that I'm trying to make here is Hiccup's search for his identity is continuously evolving throughout each movie, even if he's asking himself the same exact question, who am I?
Stop trying so hard to be something you're not.
In the Viking world of Berk, strength, bravery, and dragon slaying define your worth. Although Hiccup is inventive, intelligent, curious, and often favors creativity and innovation over violence, this makes him seem different in a culture where solving problems with force is the norm. But here's the thing, Hiccup's story isn't just about failing to meet expectations, it's about challenging the very foundations of those expectations. While everyone in Berk sees dragons as the enemy, Hiccup dares to ask the question no one else will. What if we're wrong? When Hiccup meets Toothless, he's faced with a choice: follow tradition and kill the dragon, or trust his instincts and spare it. This moment is the heart of Hiccup's journey. By choosing compassion over violence and curiosity over fear, Hiccup begins to break free from the expectations that have held him back. Through this bond with Toothless, Hiccup discovers that dragons are not inherently evil. Toothless becomes more than a friend. He symbolizes what happens when we reject societal prejudice and embrace what makes us different. Of course, challenging the norms isn't easy. Hiccup faces rejection, ridicule, and even a disownment from his own father.
You're not a Viking. You're not my son.
Instead of trying to be like everyone else, Hiccup leans into his unique strengths, his creativity, empathy, and an open mind. These traits, dismissed by his society, I have to mention, become the very things that actually save the people of Berk from being wiped out. In the end battle with the Red Death, Hiccup proves that strength doesn't come from brute force. It comes from courage to follow your own path. His victory isn't just over the Red Death. His victory is showing everyone that there's more than one right way to be brave. By the end, Hiccup transforms not just himself, but his entire world. His journey reminds us that being different isn't a weakness, it's a strength. And sometimes the only way to truly find yourself is to break free from those expectations of others. Hiccup's story is a reminder for anyone who's ever felt out of place or pressured to follow the crowd. It's a reminder that the world doesn't change when we fit in. It changes when we dare to stand out. It's a story of what it means to change the values of the people around you. And it's a story about being yourself.
I wouldn't kill him because he looked as frightened as I was. I looked at him and I saw myself.
How to Train Your Dragon 2 is more than just a visually stunning sequel. It's a deeply personal exploration of identity, growth, and self-discovery. Again, when we meet Hiccup in How to Train Your Dragon 2, he's no longer the insecure outcast from the first film. He's confident, adventurous, and he's a hero to his people. But beneath that confidence lies uncertainty. Hiccup is caught between who he is and who he's expected to be. His father, Stoic, wants him to become the next chief of Berk, a role Hiccup feels unprepared and unworthy to take on. This struggle reflects a universal challenge: the pressure to meet expectations while staying true to yourself. Instead of embracing the role of future chief, Hiccup throws himself into explorations, searching for answers in the wider world. But what he's really searching for is who he is without the expectations of others. Hiccup's journey of self-discovery mirrors the transition we all face in life, moving from who we're told to be to who we're meant to become.
I'm still looking. I know that I'm not my father, and I never met my mother, so what does that make me?
One of the most deepest moments in Hiccup's journey is the discovery of his mother, Valka. She's a reflection of everything Hiccup is: compassionate, curious, and deeply connected to dragons. Through Valka, Hiccup learns that his unique traits, the very things that made him feel out of place, are a legacy, not a flaw. Valka's words help Hiccup see that he doesn't have to choose between his individuality and his responsibilities. He can lead Berk in his own way.
You have the heart of a chief and the soul of a dragon. Only you can bring our worlds together.
Now, the scene that makes me bawl like a baby every single time: the death of Stoic is a turning point for Hiccup. It's a devastating moment, but it's also a catalyst for growth. Stoic's sacrifice teaches Hiccup that being a leader isn't about being perfect. It's about making hard choices and putting others before yourself. Through this loss, Hiccup begins to understand that he doesn't need to be his father. He just needs to be the very best version of himself. As Hiccup grows, so does Toothless. I have to mention him. When Toothless becomes the alpha, he doesn't rule through fear like the Bewilderbeast, but through trust and mutual respect. Toothless's rise to alpha symbolizes Hiccup's realization that leadership isn't about control. It's about connection, understanding, and staying true to your values. That's what people connect with. So by the end of the film, Hiccup has grown into his identity. He's no longer running from his responsibility trying to prove himself. He's found his place as a leader, a dragon rider, and as someone who brings two worlds together. This moment isn't just about Hiccup accepting his role as chief. It's about him fully embracing who he is. His strength lies not in following tradition, but in forging a new path for his people and dragons alike. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is ultimately a story about self-discovery. Hiccup teaches us that identity isn't something we inherit, it's something we create. Hiccup's journey reminds us that finding yourself isn't about fitting into a mold, it's about breaking it. Most importantly, this movie teaches us the lesson of growing up and the responsibilities that come with it. At the start of the Hidden World, Hiccup is now the chief of Berk, but even as a leader, he's holding on to the past. While Hiccup is struggling to hold on, Toothless begins his own journey of independence. Toothless's growing bond with the Light Fury forces Hiccup to confront the uncomfortable truth. Sometimes love means letting go. And the Hidden World represents more than just a safe haven for dragons. It's a symbol of the unknown future, but it also signifies a future where he and Toothless must part ways. The Hidden World challenges Hiccup to accept that some things are beyond his control and that letting go doesn't mean losing, it means allowing others to flourish.
But with love comes loss, son. It's part of the deal. Sometimes it hurts, but in the end, it's all worth it. There's no greater gift than love.
As Hiccup faces Grimmel, the villain who represents control and exploitation, he learns a new essential lesson about leadership. True strength lies not in holding on, but in knowing when to step aside. Hiccup learns that his worth isn't tied to Toothless or the dragons. Toothless doesn't make him who he is. It's always been there inside. Toothless just made it easier for Hiccup to be himself. He realizes this through Astrid opening his eyes again, just like in the first film.
Well, you're right. You're back to where you started. But I was the first to believe in you. And I have watched you doubt whether you're worthy ever since. But you know what? I am the person I am today because of you. I never told you that, but it's true. You are the bravest, most stubborn, most determined knucklehead I know. Toothless didn't give you that, Hiccup. He just made it
Easier.
and now it's gonna be a lot harder. So,
What are you gonna do about it?
Probably something stupid.
that's the Hiccup I know.
Hiccup lets Toothless go not because he wants to, but because it's what's best for his best bud. This scene symbolizes the ultimate act of growing up, realizing that holding on too tightly can hinder the growth of those you love. Now, the time jump shows us that letting go doesn't mean saying goodbye forever. Hiccup and Toothless both find their new chapters. Hiccup as a leader, husband, and a father. This reunion is a reminder that love and friendship can withstand the test of time. Even as life changes, the connections we cherish remain a part of us. How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World is a story about growing up, embracing change, and finding peace in letting go. True growth comes when we let go of what we hold dear, trusting that it will find its place in the world, and so will we. Hiccup and Toothless's story is a testament to strength of friendship, the courage to grow, and the beauty of embracing life's changes. And the lesson to learn here is, whether it's a child growing up, a relationship ending, or a significant life change, the lesson reminds us that love isn't about possession. It's about trust, respect, and allowing space for individuality. The connections we've built and memories we've made stay with us, shaping who we are and how we continue forward. It's a lesson about learning to say goodbye. The How to Train Your Dragon trilogy is more than a story about dragons, Vikings, and epic adventures, although all of those three things are pretty awesome on their own. Whether it's challenging societal norms, discovering who we are, or facing the pain of letting go, the trilogy mirrors the challenges we all face in life. It's a journey that reflects the human experience, but the most powerful message is this: life is about change, and change is what helps us grow. Like Hiccup, we must learn to embrace who we are, step into new roles, and let go of the things we love when it's time. So, as we navigate our own stories, may we remember the lessons of How to Train Your Dragon. Be brave enough to stand out, wise enough to grow, and strong enough to let go. Life will always bring new challenges and opportunities, but if we trust ourselves, cherish our bonds, and hold on to the love we've shared, we can live our best lives, soaring to new heights we never thought possible. Because, like Hiccup and Toothless, our journey isn't about where we end up, it's about how we grow along the way. So with that said, do one kind thing for someone today, and let's continue to make this year great. See you in the next one. That's a nice one.